So I've been hearing more and more people talking about the Fallout TV series recently, which is great. I love spirited conversation about the future of the franchise, especially when it comes to spin-offs from the mainline games. Over the past several months, we've been fed a constant drip feed of news and information, primarily coming from set photos taken by fans who were just within earshot of production. As far as the Fallout TV series goes, the last real bit of information we got was back at the end of March, where it was reported by a couple outlets that filming on the series had officially wrapped, thus meaning that the show was going to be entering into post-production sometime soon. This has led many people to speculate on when exactly the Amazon series will be dropping. Will it be sometime this year or sometime early next year? There have also been people who've begun to speculate as to how the release date of a Fallout Amazon series will coincide with Starfield, which is also releasing later this year, as both Starfield and a Fallout TV series have been on everybody's watch list since Fallout 76 launched. It's raising a few questions. Primarily, will the release of a Fallout TV series around the same time as Starfield drain attention away from the Amazon series? Will it drain attention from Starfield? And what's the deal with the next-gen update that Toshi scared the entire community with back in November? All that and more on today's episode of Follower Toshi. Roll the intro!
What do you mean we don't have an intro? Why not?
First, let's get caught up with Starfield. As of right now, we have a solid release date, September 6th, 2023. Assuming that Bethesda doesn't change the release date again, we can safely assume that this is when we'll be able to actually get our hands on the game. Me, personally, I wouldn't be all too broken up if they did push the release date back once again. With the shadow of Fallout 76 hanging over Bethesda's head, and the still developing drama with the recent negative reception of the newly released Redfall, both Xbox and Bethesda desperately need a win. This means one of two things. First, they gamble on the chance that the first delay of Starfield was enough time to smooth out all the bugs, glitches, and other issues that may or may not have existed in Starfield's earlier versions. Their second option is to push the game back again, giving them more time to polish it up to a bright shine. This will, obviously, cause a lot of fans to be upset, pushing more and more people to begin wondering whether or not we're going to have another skull and bones situation on our hand.
How is that game not out yet?
In reality, and especially if the release date of the Fallout TV series is actually later this year, this might actually be the best option both Xbox and Bethesda have. If Starfield is actually still a little bit of a mess, they'll have to hope that the TV series is good enough to overshadow it. A gamble that I don't think either company is really willing to take at this point. Of course, this all still hinges partially on what we'll actually see in the Starfield Direct that's scheduled for next month. So consider this a bit of pre-game day speculation. Whether or not Starfield does get pushed back to give leeway to the Fallout Amazon series, that'll most likely all boil down to what the public response is to the following showcase. Me, personally, I'm pretty excited for it, and I expect many people in the community are as well. I just hope we're as excited by June 12th. When it comes to the TV series, however, things are thankfully a little bit more cut and dry. While we do not have much information about the Amazon series, there are plenty of things we can speculate on with a bit more certainty. First of all, while we do know that the shooting has reported to have wrapped earlier last month, what we do not know is whether or not the show is taking into account reshoots and any rewrites that the script needs. Most productions often go through several different waves of rewrites and reshoots before they fully and completely wrap up. Now, of course, since we do not know much about what is currently going on behind the scenes, this may have already been factored into their completion on both filming and writing, and means that they are fully and properly completed. However, even with that in mind, both editing and post-production can take a very long time for a high-quality project, especially a TV series. I know that I and the rest of my peers here on YouTube sure do make it look easy, but trust me when I say that editing media is a long and drawn-out process that can take some time and often can take days just to get out a 10 to 15 minute video. And that's without script writing and resource gathering included. This, of course, is not to say that the content I currently make takes that long or is that detailed, but I'm more so speaking from a point of knowledge as both a YouTuber and somebody with a bit of experience in the indie film scene. If the Amazon series is already a month into post-production, then yeah, they already got a good start. But this is all without knowing just how much CGI there will be, how much music is still left to score, and how many episodes there are, and so forth. In reality, the Fallout Amazon series could debut this fall, and one could argue that it actually makes more sense for it to drop later in the year. This, however, treads on grounds that we already discussed. That being that Bethesda might have concerns about launching both Starfield and the Amazon series at around the same time. Could the quality or lack thereof have a negative impact on the other? At this point, we just don't have enough information to make that determination. Me, though, ever the optimist, I have high hopes for both, and if they do drop this fall, this might just be the best fall that Bethesda fans have had ever since Fallout 4. This brings us to the final topic of today's video, the Fallout 4 Next Gen Update. Back in November, I released a video where I talked about how a Next Gen update will be coming to Fallout 4 sometime this year, and I talked briefly about how a similar release came to Skyrim that actually broke the modding community in two. Since then, there has existed a Skyrim and a Skyrim Special Edition mod page over on the Nexus, with mods still being created for both. In my video, I speculated on the same sort of situation happening to Fallout 4, but concluded that such an outcome was unlikely, and if we did have that happen, Fallout 4 modders would be well prepared to adapt. Since then, it's starting to seem less and less like what we'll be getting is a whole new version of the game, and instead it'll be something along the lines of a graphical or FPS boost like we've gotten before. More to the point, however, some people have begun to speculate as to whether the release of the Special Edition will coincide in some way with the Amazon series, in order to help keep the Fallout hype train going. In other words, some people are wondering that, should a next-gen update come to Fallout 4 sometime this summer, that this will help to reinvigorate the fan base to get them excited to play Fallout again, building up to an eventual release of the Amazon series in the fall. This wouldn't be anything new for the studio either, as they did something very similar when Fallout 4 was released, dropping Fallout Shelter the same day as the E3 presentation of Fallout 4. God, I don't care what anybody says about that game. The hype train for that game was fucking lit. Regardless, this theory does lend some credibility to Starfield being again pushed back into 2025, as to not interfere with the Fallout hype train. I feel as if the logic does have some credibility to it, as it would allow Bethesda to redeem themselves in the eyes of Fallout fans in order to try to make up for the disaster that was Fallout 76. Now, I know at this point, like, half of you just have the video on for white noise, but to the other half of you that are still watching, you're here for my opinion on what this all is going to shake out to look like. Well, if you ask me, I think that we might very well be seeing both the Amazon series as well as Starfield dropping in the fall, or at the very least, the Amazon series getting pushed back to January. My reasoning behind this is mostly as I had previously stated. Bethesda is either hoping to have a gangbuster of a year, minus Redfall, or they're hoping that either the Amazon series or Starfield is so good that it completely overshadows any faults the other might have. Having the Amazon series drop this fall actually makes a bit of thematical sense, as October 23rd actually falls on a Monday this year. This would allow the Amazon series a consistent date to release, Mondays, and allow it to coincide with an in-game reference, that being the Great War of October 23rd, 2077. Seeing as how Starfield is a single-player game with only so many hours to be played in it, and the Amazon series will most likely be releasing weekly, that will leave plenty of time to both play and enjoy Starfield, and be able to catch each episode of the Amazon series when it releases. These, however, are just my thoughts, and now I want to hear yours. This is a rare video for me, seeing as how we covered so many different topics, but between the Fallout 4 Next Gen update, Starfield's eventual release, and the Fallout Amazon series, what are your thoughts and theories? Let me know down in the comments section. Until next time, I thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe and stuff, and until next time, I will see you all out there in the wasteland.